Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to break down a super important health topic, polycystic ovary syndrome, or PCOS. And to make sure we get this right, all our information is coming straight from the medical experts at Arka Anugraha Hospital. So if you've just gotten a PCOS diagnosis, this is probably the very first question that pops into your head, right? It's a totally normal thing to wonder. Okay, let's dive right into it.
And, there's a reason the answer isn't a simple yes or no. The danger isn't really the diagnosis itself. It's all about what could happen inside your body, long term, if the condition isn't managed.
This quote right here, it really hits the nail on the head. There are two words you need to lock onto: cascade and unmanaged. Think of it like this. PCOS can start a chain reaction of health issues, but the really important part is that this only happens when it's left unmanaged. So let's break down what that really means.
All right, first things first. We have got to completely reframe how we even think about PCOS.
Most people hear polycystic ovary syndrome, and hey, it makes sense, right? Your brain immediately goes to ovaries, irregular periods, cysts. It's literally in the name. But here's the thing. While cysts can be part of the picture, they aren't the main event. Not even close. The real problem is way deeper. It's about a hormonal imbalance that throws your whole metabolic system, how your body uses energy, completely out of whack. So, how does this all get started?
And that question brings us to the main character in the PCOS story, a hormone you've definitely heard of, but maybe not like this: insulin.
Okay, so this is that cascade we were talking about. Think of it like a set of dominoes. It all starts with a hormonal imbalance. Your body's making too much insulin and too many androgens. Your body's cells then start to kind of ignore the insulin. They become resistant. So your pancreas, trying to help, freaks out and starts pumping out even more insulin. But eventually, it just can't keep up, and that's when your blood sugar starts to climb. This whole chain reaction, this is the engine driving pretty much all of the long-term risks.
And you know what? As this is all happening, your body might actually be trying to tell you something. It could be sending you these little signals, like feeling tired all the time for no reason, being extra thirsty, or even seeing these dark patches of skin on your neck or under your arms. These are all potential clues that your body is struggling with insulin resistance. Okay. So what happens if that domino effect, that insulin resistance, is just left to do its thing for years and years? Well, this is where we really get to the heart of that "is it dangerous?" question.
This number, wow, this is a big one. The source material tells us that more than half of all women with PCOS will develop type 2 diabetes or prediabetes before they turn 40. Just let that sink in. By middle age, it's basically a coin flip.
Okay, that stat is pretty scary. I get it. But look at it another way. It shows you how incredibly powerful being proactive is. Knowing this risk is there means you can get in front of it. You can do regular testing, you can make changes, and you can stop it from ever becoming your reality.
The next big risk we need to talk about is endometrial cancer. Because of those specific hormone imbalances we mentioned, the risk is 3 times higher for women with PCOS. It's another serious thing we have to be aware of. But again, while that number sounds alarming, the context here is everything. The risk goes up because the uterine lining isn't shedding regularly due to irregular periods. So what does that mean? It means it's a manageable risk. It's something you and your doctor can monitor and stay on top of with regular checkups. And the ripple effects of PCOS don't stop there. It can mess with your heart health, raising the risk for high blood pressure. It's also linked to things like sleep apnea. That's when you stop breathing for short periods while you sleep. And, super importantly, it can take a real toll on your mental health, with higher rates of depression and anxiety. It's all connected. Okay, so now that we've laid out the real manageable risks, let's switch gears and bust some major myths about PCOS. Because honestly, these myths cause so much unnecessary stress and confusion.
All right, myth number 1, the big one. PCOS only happens to overweight women. Fact? Totally false. There's a thing called lean PCOS, and about half of the women who have it are not overweight at all. Myth number 2, you can't get pregnant with PCOS. Fact? Nope, not true. It can definitely make it tougher, for sure, but with the right treatment, most women with PCOS absolutely can and do have babies. Let's keep going. Myth: birth control pills will cure PCOS. Fact: they're a tool, not a cure. They're actually a great tool for managing symptoms like irregular periods, but they don't solve the root hormonal issue. And the final myth: stress causes PCOS. Fact: no, it doesn't. PCOS is genetic and hormonal. But, and this is a big but, stress can be like pouring gasoline on a fire. It can make your symptoms a whole lot worse.
Okay, deep breath. This is, without a doubt, the most important part of this whole conversation. We've talked about the risks, we've talked about that cascade, but that cascade is not a runaway train. You absolutely have the power to step in and break the chain.
And you might be thinking it takes some huge dramatic change, right? But check this out. The hospital's experts point out that for women who are carrying extra weight, losing just 5 to 10% of their body weight can have a massive, game-changing effect. We're talking dramatically better insulin sensitivity and helping get your periods back on a regular schedule. That's huge.
So the key here, the real secret sauce, is a holistic 3-part strategy. First up, lifestyle. This is all about focusing on whole foods that keep your insulin stable and finding regular exercise that you actually enjoy and can stick with. Second, medical. This means not skipping your regular checkups, keeping an eye on your blood sugar, and talking to your doctor about whether medications could be a good fit for you. And third, and please do not skip this one, mental health. Dealing with a chronic condition is tough, so getting professional support for your mental well-being isn't a luxury. It's a core part of the plan.
Look, the goal isn't to be cured because PCOS is a lifelong thing. The real goal is to be empowered. When you have the right info and you're consistent with your care, this is something you can totally manage and live a full, healthy life with.
So, PCOS is a part of your story, but it doesn't get to write the ending. By understanding the real risks, not the scary myths, and by knowing you have the tools to manage them, you get to move from a place of worry to a place of power. You're in the driver's seat. You get to write the next chapter. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.